Hi everyone, this is Tejashwini and this is my final presentation for my MERN Stack internship with WebStack Academy. Over the past few weeks, I have worked on full stack web development, learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React, and finally building a complete project using the MERN stack. In this presentation, I'll walk you through what I have learned, what I have implemented, and how this internship helped me grow as a developer. I started with HTML, which is the backbone of every web page. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is basically like the skeleton of a web page. It defines the structure and layout of content using tags like header, nav, main, section, and footer. I learned about anchor tags for links, image tags for displaying pictures, and how to create lists and tables. Forms were a big part of my learning. I built forms using input, label, and button tags for collecting user data. I also worked with multimedia tags like audio tag and video tag and understood how semantic HTML improves accessibility and SEO. Next, I learned how to make my web pages look attractive and responsive using CSS. CSS or cascading style sheet controls the presentation of HTML. There are three ways to apply CSS: inline, internal, and external, and I practiced all of them. I learned how to use element, class, and ID selectors and understood the box model, which includes margin, border, padding, and content. I also used Flexbox for layout alignment and spacing, which helped me build responsive navbars and grids. Understanding how CSS prioritizes styles and using properties like not important helped me control which styles apply when multiple ones overlap. After HTML and CSS, I moved to JavaScript, which is the logic and brain of the website. I learned how to declare variables using var, let, and const and explore different data types like strings, numbers, booleans, arrays, and objects. I practiced operators and conditional statements like if, else if, and else, as well as loops like for, while, and do while. I also studied functions, both how to define them and how to call them. One of the most interesting parts was DOM manipulation, using JavaScript to interact with HTML elements dynamically through methods like getElementById or innerHTML. This made my websites interactive, allowing real-time updates without page reloads. Once I got comfortable with JavaScript, we have moved to React, which is one of the most popular front-end frameworks today. I learned how to start a React project using commands like npm install and npm run dev. I understood how React breaks down the UI into reusable components and how props are used to pass data between them. The concept of state using useState was really fun to work with. It helped me store data and update values dynamically. I also learned JSX, which allows us to write HTML inside JavaScript, and that made the code much cleaner and more readable. Later, I explored and designed components, routing using browser router and routes, and even Redux for state management. Next, we go to MERN stack. My internship is focused on the MERN stack, which stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. I learned how each technology fits into the stack. MongoDB is used for storing data like user info and project details. Express.js acts as the backend framework to handle requests and responses. React.js builds the user interface, while Node.js provides the runtime environment to execute JavaScript outside the browser. All of these together help me build a full stack application from scratch. For my final project, I developed a full stack web app that uses the MERN stack. It includes features like user authentication, CRUD operation, which is create, read, update, and delete, and responsive UI components. I used React for the front end, Express and Node for the backend APIs, and MongoDB for data storage. I also implemented routing to navigate between pages and used Redux for managing state efficiently. The project was successfully tested and deployed online, which gave me real experiences in full stack development. So now that I have explained the core technologies I learned, which is HTML, CSS and JavaScript, which and also MERN stack, let's jump into how I applied all of them in my final project. The project I built during my internship is called HomelyHub, which is basically an Airbnb style property rental web application. It allows users to browse properties, view details and make bookings. I built this using the MERN stack, which is MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. Let's head into my VS Code and MongoDB setup to see how it actually works behind the scenes. This is my These are the project folder in my Visual Studio Code, and this is the front end folder and this is the back end folder. This front end folder contains all my React components, CSS files, and routes. This handles everything the user sees and interacts with. And this is the backend folder. It is powered by Node.js and Express.js. This is where my server-side logic lives, things like authentication, API routes, and database connections. I also use some helpful libraries like Axios for sending API requests and Redux for managing state globally. Now let's start both the servers. On the left side, I'm going to go inside my backend and I'm going to run this backend side by using npm run dev. This starts the Express server using NodeMon, so it automatically restarts on any code change. You can see here in the terminal it says MongoDB connected, which means my backend is successfully linked with my database. On the right side, I'll open my frontend folder. Now again, I'm going to run npm run dev. This uses Vite to run the React development server and it starts on localhost 5173. So now both my frontend and backend are running and connected. So let me show you my MongoDB compass. So this is my MongoDB compass and let me connect my localhost to my project backend server. So now my MongoDB and my backend webpage backend are connected. You can see my main database is named as HomelyHub. Inside it, I have different collections like users, bookings, and properties. Let's open the users collection. Here you can see all the user data stored when someone signs up on the website, including their name, email, phone number, and encrypted password. Every time a new user registers on the site, this collection automatically gets updated with a new entry. Now let's move to the front end. Yep. This is my HomelyHub homepage. You can see the layout which is due to React components which I used for reusability and undesign components for UI styling. On the top, we can see the search bar where users can search for destination, choose their date range, and add guest details. Below that, we can see multiple property cards. Each card displays a property image, name, and property details when I hover my mouse over it. So all this data is fetched dynamically from my MongoDB database using Axios GET request to my Express API. Okay, now let's quickly look at how the sign-up process works when the new user enters. When a new user enters their name, email, and password here and click register, the front end sends this data to the backend through a POST API call. The backend validates the data, hashes the password, and then stores the user information in MongoDB, which we saw earlier. Once sign-up is complete, the user can log in and access their profile or make bookings. So since I have already signed in, I have already registered, let me sign in. So now I have signed in successfully. So before explaining this, let me explain some of my backend code. Here we have .env file. It is running on port 8080 and this is MongoDB's URI which connects our MongoDB to our website's backend. I've also implemented JWT tokens for authentication so users stay logged in securely. I also integrated Mailtrap for testing email functionality securely and ImageKit for storing images in cloud and for storing images in cloud and image optimization. So let me go to app.jsx folder, app.jsx file. So this is app.jsx. Routing is handled here with browser router and routes. Each route maps to a page component like login, sign up, and property details, etc. So this is the navigation backbone. Now let me go to store.js. So this is the Redux store where we have reducers for users, properties, and bookings. Redux lets multiple components share state without parsing props deeply. So let's again go to our web page. So this is the property listing page. It's fully responsive because of CSS Flexbox and Grid. Each card is clickable like this. And whenever I click each card, it redirects to a detailed property page that shows more information. Like you can see all the pictures here. If I click this, all the pictures of that particular property will be visible. And this is the description which says about the property, and this is the maximum number of kids who can get accommodated in the property. And what this place offers shows all the facilities which is available in the property like Wi-Fi, free parking, AC, and pool. And this is the map where the property is, which shows where the property is accurately located. So this property is located in Bengaluru. So Koramangala, Bengaluru. So that's why the map is showing in Bengaluru. We can zoom in as well as zoom out in this map. And this shows the extra info like check-in, check-out, or complimentary. So additional information about the property. It shows additional information about the property. Now we can book this. It shows 2,500 per night. So let's book this. So until 12th, it got blocked because until 12th, yesterday it got full. So from today, it will go. So from 13, so let me book until 16. So number of guests, actually maximum number of guests is 3. So let me give 2. Full name, username, and phone number. So see here, for one night it's 2,500. So I have booked this place for 4 nights. So the backend did some, and it shows that book this place for 7,500. So it has calculated how much we have to pay for 4 nights. So let me click this. So we'll get a confirmation message like this, and which shows check in, check out, number of guests, and number of nights. It's actually 3 nights. So for 3 nights, it takes 7,500. So let me click proceed to payment. So it again gives confirmation. So we can see here order ID with all the essential information, and we can either give confirm cancel payment or confirm payment. So let me give confirm payment. So this got added. I've already added a Mona farmhouse from 13 to 16. With it, it is already there. Now the SRS suits it got added again. You can see my profile. My profile has username, user email ID, and the date in which they got joined. We can also edit profile. We can give another name, another phone number, and we can even browse pictures from our folder, and we can add there, and we can give update. And this my accommodation column, we can use this for renting our property, our own property. For renting our own property, we can give this. We can add new place. We can give the required details about the property which we are going to sell. We can check the amenities which are present there in the property. We can give the extra info, check in, check out time, maximum number of guests. And we can give all the necessary information. We can upload photo. And if we give all that and give save, it gets added in our main HomelyHub page. And the search destination, let me give Kerala and let me search. So all the properties which are available in Kerala, it gets displayed here. And we can also give start date and end date for booking. And let me add number of guests. If I give it 9, so whichever properties which can accommodate maximum of 9 guests are displayed here. I mean maximum of 9 guests or more than 9 guests, it gets displayed here. We can also use search filters for finding. So let me get 2,200 and 3,500. So when I type here manually, the range bar sets itself. House. And let me click an amenity like Wi-Fi, AC, and apply filter. Actually, no property is in match with it. So that's why it got property not found. So let me give another. Now, this search filter, which has a price range of what I have given and the property type is house with Wi-Fi, it got displayed here, which is Kartika flat. We can use search filter like that. And whenever I click this HomelyHub logo, it gets redirected to our main home page. Also, whenever I click a property, our URL gets changed. Like whenever I click a property card, it shows property list, and whenever I click my account, it shows profile, and whenever I click my bookings, it shows my bookings, and whenever I click my accommodation, it shows accommodation. So like that. And if I click logout, you can see the logo got changed and we have successfully logged out. So that was the working demo of my project, HomelyHub. This project helped me understand how the front end, back end, and database connect and communicate. Now let's go back to my presentation and continue with the next slides. This internship gave me hands-on experience with real development tools and workflows. I now understand how front-end and back-end communicate through APIs. I became more confident in JavaScript and React, especially debugging and handling async code. I also learned the importance of clean UI design, responsive layouts, and code reusability. Apart from technical growth, I improved my time management, presentation, and problem-solving skills. I did face a few challenges during the building of this project. The first was CORS errors while connecting the backend API, and it got solved by configuring middleware properly. I also struggled with some layout issues, which is fixed by using Flexbox and media queries. MongoDB connection problems were another hurdle, but async await functions helped me stabilize it. Overall, this internship was an incredible experience that helped me grow from a learner to a confident developer. I got to explore every part of the MERN stack, from front-end design to back-end logic and database integration. Thank you so much to my mentors and the Webstack Academy team for this valuable opportunity. Thank you.